This is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, outside winning to die. Cross her up on the cushion, crossing the line, cause some drama and some bullshit they didn't like. And if they don't like the move, then we're ready to fly. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Oh yes, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. And bam, the new scene has arrived. Oh my God! Join the Aussie trip. You still can, I guess. We are here. Oh wow. Oh, did we get hit in the face last? I don't remember what happened last night at this Avalonian racetrack. Is that how you say it? I mean, I come to Australia, they call it Australian people. And when I go to Avalon, is that going to another world? And so I should call it Avalonian people? I'm not sure. I'm good at making words up. I'm good at making a lot of shit up, apparently. We're going to talk about that today. Oh, Sheldon let me know last night. And I can't wait to detail that situation. But I want to detail what has happened arriving in Australia and everything, the trip. We have a really nice video that hopefully is gonna, we can bang this video out right now. Oh God, I said bang this out right now. I know all the Australian women just kind of had a reaction to me saying that, but hey, dual citizenship is cool. Anyways, we have a really good video detailing the entire trip from the snowstorm of Iowa. 18-wheelers spun out the other direction in the ditches, you know, on my side of the road. So I was going this way and they were pointing this way, spun out, which is the normal way to drive. We're going to talk about that because we get here to, once again, videos coming. From there all the way into Avalon last night, the detailing everything that happened, viewing everything. And then hopefully tonight at Simpson, we're trying to get the words out of the mouth so we can head to Simpson. And it is 4:40 p.m. here right now. I believe in the Americas, it's like midnight or something, 1 o'clock potentially. I'm not sure. But there's just a few things over here in Australia that you got to get used to. First of all, I go to the rental car and they basically professionally gaslit me into getting the insurance. All these kangaroos and wombats, they'll get you. And if you don't have this insurance, it's $10,000 to fix the car and you're responsible. But if you pay this amount of money, it's only $5,000. And I'm like, I don't really think I need. They're crazy out there. You just don't know, you dumb American. It basically is the attitude I was getting. And it's like, hold on. So how do y'all, I literally said this. I said, so all these cars in the parking lot have been hitting kangaroos every day? I don't necessarily see like 10 or 15 cars stacked around here with dents in the side of them or front ends totaled. She was like, oh, they usually total when you hit one. But regardless, I was like, here, they were not going to charge a deposit if I get the insurance. So I was like, okay, fine. Here, take the little 200 and something for insurance and I'll skip on the $500 deposit. We'll do that. How about that? Is that okay? Fine. And then the bigger issue though, is when you go to turn out onto the road, you're going the wrong way. You're on the like you're sitting on the right, but you're driving on the left. Does that make any sense? A side of the road, and then you're sitting on the right, but you're on the other side. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. It was very confusing. The roundabouts, very interesting when you're on the other side of the road. I literally was coming up to a roundabout and went to go take it the normal way, and a cop was coming straight at me, and I just like, oh shit, he's doing it wrong. Phew. And I like turned, ran over the center deal. It was bad. It was bad. And it was funny. I was laughing the whole time, and I think the cop, right before I started turning, he was like laughing as he's pointing at me. Fucking asshole. But anyway, another thing that when you get to Australia, you don't really know until you see it. You know, we're Americanized, you know, and I'm bringing out these dollars, bills here, these American money. You know, we're just so superior with our arrogance, cockiness, and all the right moves, big Tom Cruise, you know. But anyway, we think our money is so badass. And it is more valuable than the Australian dollar, but I could rip this 50. I'm not doing it. I'm not even ripping the 5. I'm too poor and broke. Join the Australian trip. But the money that we utilize versus the money that they have is just day and night. First of all, this is a $100 Australian bill. Look at this. Transparent. You could see me right through the middle. See that one? Yeah, see that? Next, it's equality. Look at this. A man on the front, a female on the back, even the $1 bill or one of these dollars. They don't have a $1 bill. It's all $1. By the way, since I said that, it's a dollar coins. That's all they have, dollar coins. But a native person on one side, a woman on the other. So it's like all the right moves on these dollar bills. And you can't basically, I mean, I'm sure you could really do it if you tried really hard. But these are so hard to tear. Like, this is a plastic material. This is not, I don't even know if you would call it plastic, because plastic, I feel like you could tear a little easier. But obviously the transparency, so it could be some type of plastic, petrochemically based material. So we're over here killing trees, and they're utilizing what's, saving trees, because obviously carbon is the fuel that trees breathe in. Regardless, not only are they smarter in the construction and more caring of others in their bills, but you like for instance, if you're at the bar drunk or something like that late at night, and you give the lady 100 and she gives you back, you know, your tab's only like $40, but all you had's 100, and she gives you back a 20 and 2 10s and kind of, or just 120 or all, she gives you 4 10s instead of 2 20s and a 10 or something like that. You can't really tell, because if you're drunk and intoxicated, for sure, that these are too much of a separate bill, especially the 50s to the 20s and the 10s and all that. Very similar. Whereas their dollar bills here, we have a sample of everything but the $10 bill. Their bills are different colors. So you got the 100 that is green, the 50 that is a gold yellow, the 20 that is a red right there, and then the 5 that is a purple. Apparently the 10 is a blue. So it's more identifiable. And then to top it all off, they went smart all the way here. God, I can't believe it. Not only are they different colors, but they are also different sizes. So this is all of them lined up at one end. Same width, but the length of the bill is different as well. And obviously, if I had a $10 bill, which would be the other denomination, it would fit perfectly in between the red and the purple of the 5. So they're also different lengths of bills, which is just unbelievable at how smart and intelligent this is. This has to be some type of knowledge from the descendants of the indigenous aboriginal people of their country, because they're really smart, one of the oldest tribes in the world. So that was just pretty interesting to learn. And then we get to the food at the racetrack, and we got all kinds of videos to come of this, and it's that some dim sim deal. To me, it's like a dumpling egg roll kind of flavor in my opinion, but it was really good. We got there, and then we were in the pits getting mugged by some of these big time Australian drivers who are just trying to fit in the clique. Basically, they got to hate who the rich people hate. You know, that's how it goes. But not everyone's the same, and we got to meet some really good people, and actually got into the VIP booth with a Matthew Easton from Victory Lane Racing. And let me show you this. Once we got up there, the whole world just came down. So we were at Avalon, and we got video of all this. It is going to be coming out later this week. Although we got a lot of stuff to do. Let's see if we can get the web up. So we were there at Avalon last night for the Sprint Car Invitational. Everyone was there. Macedo ended up winning the race. Jock Goodyear should have won the race, but they should have been nicer to me in the pits, and luck would have been on their side. Regardless, they didn't be mean or anything like that. I'm just saying. They could have said, hey, when they saw the Chaz. I'm just saying. But hey, God is on my side. So at the end of the day, it don't matter if you're on the other side of the mountain. At the end of the day, we were here at the Sprint Car Invitational. Jock Goodyear did do some badass work. Was just another level of competition, it seemed like. Like I said, Carson Macedo got it done. But the Victory Lane team was with Robbie Farr driving their vehicle, and they're going to be at Simpson tonight. Hopefully we can get some more content of the behind the scenes, a big 360 race happening at Simpson. This is the most anticipated track I'm looking forward to going to, so I shouldn't be too late. That's why I'm talking kind of fast right now. But while we were up there in the VIP booth, joking and having fun and drinking beer, obviously I made this post. I hadn't drank beer in about a month and a half, 2 months maybe. And then we ran into these guys, which I believe this guy's name was Blair. It was his birthday. They knew the Chaz. Everybody wanted to take pictures with the Chaz. It turned into a great night, and I can't wait to put the video out. And while we were up here, this is where you kind of watched the race and mud flew and crashed into you and all this stuff. It was an enjoyable time. And obviously the Victory Lane race gear place that we were hanging out with, Matthew Easton, and then these two up here were just, these kids were just not nice to the Chaz. We got video of this too. We had a big clash here. Apparently one of his kids here races the quarter midgets that they race over here in this scene as well. But Victory Lane race gear will, like I said, be able to potentially get some more intel and things on that whole situation here very soon. But the bigger deal that happened was middle of the night. We were in the Victory Lane racing gear area having a good old time. And then I saw cars getting in the shootout. I saw Sheldon Hodenshaw was over there. And obviously, for those who have been watching the show, I kind of took, and I feel like some people should, I took offense here recently to a lot of, in particularly at Toowoomba during the Red Hot Summer Shootout, and I've been hearing it a lot recently, some of the drivers that when they didn't perform well on the track, they blamed a tire as to why. And why I say offense is some of these drivers are considered to be, especially the Americans that are over here, are considered to be, just like this dollar bill, so much better than the Australian drivers. But what I think is when you actually see what they're made of and what they got going on, they might just be a little bit more better than you. And when you try to say that it's a tire as to why you're getting your ass kicked, that is, like I said in my video, that is the color green. That is a GoPro on the car. You know, that is, I heard it tonight in the Chili Bowl after the race. I was coming off the corner and the car just went straight. Oh, really? Well, when the car is sitting in the pitting area, the car's just sitting there. The only way the car moves around the racetrack is you, right? You move the car. So when I hear the car went straight, like the guy said the Chili Bowl after the A-Main tonight, the car went straight. Oh, you weren't controlling the car that went straight. No, you went straight. You made the mistake. You went into the wall or whatever. You missed the cushion. The car, you get into these cars and you are the controller of the car. The car doesn't have a mind of its own. There's not no black magic Moloch shit happening all the time, only when I'm involved. But that's a whole nother subject. You are the reason you are losing. It ain't the color green. It ain't a tire. It ain't all this. It ain't GoPros on your car. If you go out there and wreck the shit, you wrecked it. Now, the setups and all that being a different tire now, and this is where we're getting, and all this stuff can control it, but it's the mentality of when you're out there on if you're going to get it done. I was referencing Tom Brady. When the car goes straight, Tom Brady don't get out the car and say, well, the team went straight. No, I led the team into a mistake. I took the team in the wrong direction. This is back to the loser-winner mentality. When you take responsibility for the losses, that is what empowers you and fuels you to make the wins, because you can actually self-diagnose a problem that you are making. So, and funny enough, when I was going off on this whole tire situation with Australia and these American drivers, instead of giving credit where it's due and saying these Aussie dollars are really badass, and just basically saying a tire is why I'm not used to this tire. And I was praising Kyle Larson for being able to, he just jumps in late models and go. He don't blame the late model when he gets in it and can't drive it or is getting outperformed by another driver. And that night that I was saying that, Mike Marlar referenced after the race that his tire went away at the end of the race. And I was trying to say that the late model guy actually has a different compound of a tire that is actually affecting his trajectory around the racetrack versus another guy who could have a different tire on the car. Not what most are feeling and most have seen and some are still complaining about, that they come over to Australia and everybody is on another tire and I'm just not used to running this in particular tire, and that's why these Australian dollars are so much better. It's not that my dollar is sucking. It's that the tire that makes the dollar sucks or something. We're still killing trees as they're providing carbon with their petrochemical industry. Regardless, I was using that late model example to say it's an actual different tire, Whereas the sprint car guys who are just on a tire they're not used to, everyone's on that same tire, and you're just getting your ass kicked. And maybe they're used to a tire better than you, but you're the USA guy. You're supposed to just whoop their ass. So go and do it. And when they beat you, gives us some respect where respect is due. And I was utilizing Carson Macedo's comments as to how you respectfully get beat. And that's how you also respectfully win. Now, this is where we got to the Sheldon hot and shout. So I wanted to set up what I was actually leading towards. And this is something a lot of people don't even know. Even the Australian person that I'm here having accommodations, staying with, he was surprised. He was like, wow, really? I didn't know that. So I don't feel super dumb in saying this and having this assumption. The fiction was provided some facts. So Sheldon, I was walking by and he waved and said, hey, come here. And this was before he was going to go out for his heat race. And so I get over there, chit-chatting this and that. I'm like, come on, what's the real reason you can't whoop these guys' asses and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, well, I told him, I was like, I was really upset about some of y'all complaining about these tires. I mean, I just feel like maybe these guys around here are that damn good. And when you frame it like y'all are framing it, it doesn't give this area any respect or respectfully lose, just how I was saying there. And he goes, well, I'm actually on a different tire. And I was like, what, really? You're on not just a different tire than the Hoosier compound you're used to, but you're on a actual different tire. And he goes, yeah, I'm on American Racers. And sure enough, you look off to the side and look at what tire he's running, and it is American Racers. And I believe they have a couple of different tires you can use. I know that Dirt XIND, I believe, is still a tire that some can use. But I did actually see, after I noticed that, some American Racers out there on some cars. So in his case, in his scenario, that Sheldon is saying, the tire may be affecting my performance on the racetrack, it is more closer to that Mike Marlar, more so reason than an excuse, because there's an actual difference. Now, some of these guys are out there on Hoosiers from America, who is just a different Hoosier tire, and I'm not used to. Y'all are still over there in the excuse column. But a guy like Sheldon, who is actually running a different tire than some other teams that are winning, and with that American Racer, is slowly closer to the reason side. And I was asking him why, and he's like, oh, I think they have a lot of them, and they were just going to utilize them. And I kind of made a joke right back. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. We have these tires we don't know what to do with, and we'll just bring Sheldon over here to use them because he can outdrive, or they believe, or most people do, and I think it's partially true. Sheldon can kind of outperform if that tire is a disadvantage at all. that he can overcome it. And so there might potentially be a little bit more pressure in Sheldon's situation to make those tires do what they might not be able to do. And maybe there's some tracks and scenarios where those tires are better than the Hoosier option or that Dirt XIND, I believe it is. Maybe the American racers have an advantage in certain scenarios. So just another, almost like, this is funny. It keeps referencing that I had these dollars here. I had no idea to utilize them this way. But in America, one Hoosier style tire for sprint car racing in the major scene. Whereas over here, it may be better. People are saying this, but too much corporatism in America. They got different tires over here in Australia that you can actually use. Different brands, different everything, different sizes, structures, and shapes and colors. And it's potentially the better way to do it. Now, I still think, no matter if it's a disadvantage or an advantage, that it is very important, based on what I saw last night in person and based on watching some of this Australian action over the last weeks or so, that these Australian racers, outside of just a Jock Goodyear or a Callum Williamson, these guys are actually really good. I mean, these are still sprint cars going in circles no matter what, and this is my point a bigger point of it. These are still sprint cars going in circles, and yeah, maybe different tires and all that, but the act of still driving a sprint car around a track, it's still happening. And maybe some of these guys are more used to these tires and things like that. But if you're a Sheldon or you're Aaron or any of these guys that have come over here, I really do think that you're supposed to be that badass. And if you're getting beat, I think instead of just saying, in my opinion, a disrespectful way, the only reason that guy's beating me is because I got a different tire I'm not used to. The more respectful thing would be, maybe say you're not used to this tire, but that guy is really good. These guys who are, if I'm running 5th or 6th, it's because those 5 or 4 guys in front of me are just that good behind the wheel of some sprint cars. I think it would give a lot more respect for this area. And I think that I really do feel kind of like Australia, the country in itself, reminds me a lot of California in the States, because it's distanced so much from everyone else that there's like this own group of racers in it. And there's a lot of badass drivers in California. Like there's a lot of depth over there as far as talent is concerned. And I think the area region doesn't sometimes get the respect outside of the money teams or the little bitty young baby teams that come up and breed new drivers like Larson's and Days and Kofoids. I think that the other guys over there deserve respect in a way. And I feel like that's slowly the case here with Australia. Is there's a lot, like I made the analogy the other day that the west coast of California is like a pond. It's small, but it's a pond full of like alligators. And if you're able to come out of there, you're a real badass sprint car driver. Same thing I think can be said for Australia, maybe in a croc sense, that it is a little bit bigger, obviously by regional wise. I mean, the actual measurements of the country way bigger than California, but I feel like it's a big lake, but there's some big ass crocodiles in there. And if you're kicking ass in that lake, you're actually really good. If you're running 5th, you're really good. And I just think when you go to swim over there and you get your ass ate up by a crocodile, that you just need to say, hey, there's some badass crocodiles in there. Not that my boat was too small. That's all I'm saying. There's some badasses over here, and I really think that's the case. But regardless, some didn't know it. Like I said, even the guy I'm staying here with who stays up with the scene, he didn't know it. They're on American racers on the Sheldon Hodenshaw car. And I think in sprint car racing, we're not used to really looking at brands of tires. We're so brainwashed into thinking that there's just one out there with Hoosier, that there isn't other ones. But over here in Australia, there's multiple tire brands. And I think, like I said, I was kind of ignorant to that till I saw that. I mean, obviously we had paid attention, but I knew that the Hoosier tire was a different tire than the Hoosier in America. And I think that some people are still scapegoating on that. But at the end of the day, I do think that the winners, the champions, and this is why I was saying what I was saying to try to inspire some of these people to think a little differently. They don't think like that. Tom Brady loses a game that he doesn't think that the team led him in a wrong direction. He led the team in the wrong direction. Even though maybe something is up, like maybe the team, maybe this person or that person or this car or this tire is truly what it is. The thought process of I can't do anything about it is the loser mentality. The one who says, I'm going to find a way, figure out a way, is that leader, is that winner, is that championship mentality. The car just didn't go straight. You drove the car in a way that made it go straight. You did it. So that's kind of more so the inspiration on that entire situation and thought process. But once again, Sheldon was putting on a damn good show last night. Track did get kind of one-laned. Unfortunately, for the video purposes that I got all built up and making for the trip all over and everything, and last night, my phone did die at the end of the A main. Jock Goodyear was leading. Something happened on the race car, and then Carson Macedo made a badass pass for the lead on Marcus Dumsney, who's really gaining some speed here lately, really getting faster as the days go by. Got to hang out with Robbie Farr and the whole Victory Lane Race Gear team. Hopefully tonight at Simpson, maybe we can transfer over to maybe throwing a GoPro on a car, maybe doing this or doing that at Simpson, because I hear this track is the bull ring of them all in this little area that we're in. So I'm looking forward to that very much. So now, just got through watching the Chili Bowl, and of course, Logan Seavey gets it done. I said he was going to get it done Friday. It's a lock. I think Logan Seavey's a Kyle Larson without Kyle Larson opportunities. That's how good I think Logan Seavey is. Another driver last night that I saw. I know a lot of people, not trying to truly stay on the Australian subject, because we are going to get into the Chili Bowl subject a little bit here, but I know a lot of people have heard me talk about Ricky Thornton Jr. and Logan Seavey and Kyle Larson and some of these guys, Christopher Bell, and really this was a racer clique back in the R Factor days. Me, Larson, Bell, Seavey, a bunch of guys were really fast in the old beginning stages of sim racing, and a bunch of people have actually came and made themselves something in the real world. And they're the good guys in the sim world back then, and the average guys in the sim world back then, basically is transferred to today's society and time. I mean, however good they were in there, that's how good they are today. Another guy who was up there in the top echelons of the racing scene back then was a guy named Corey McCullough. And he was an Australian, and he was one of the fastest guys in there. There's only a few names I had to worry about when I was on there, and that was one of them. And he's actually racing in this area, so that's pretty cool. But Logan Seavey was another one, came a little bit later into the scene, but he got the win at Chili Bowl. Like I said, I saw this one coming. Of course, the girl standing to his right, I did not see that one coming. If we can, I don't know if that was surgically done, but can we replicate as many of those as we can? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, great job by Logan Seavey. But was this necessarily the story of the week, or was it Kyle Larson? Oh my, of course it was. And this flip that happened yesterday, of course, I was trying to do the Avalon thing. This is on Loud Pedal Report. Obviously, these photos are not of his, but helmet coming off the driver in the heat race wreck at Chili Bowl. And it seems like, obviously, seems to be, obviously still existing. So that's very important. Christopher Townsend here with the helmet coming off the car. And the thing that really shocked me here was the wreck later that night by Kyle. And maybe Kyle is teaching people how to wreck. We're having some big issues on keeping helmets and seatbelts on, and that's just insane to me. But obviously, Kyle Larson flipped in that wreck, and then he flipped later in the night here. This was the Chili Bowl A-Main, which the announcers tried to scapegoat once again and say, something must have happened on the car. Something must have broke. Something must have happened. At least Kyle's good. Kyle's not dumb. He accepts this, the truth. He says he just made a mistake. See the difference here? The car went straight. There's something broke on the car. What's a winner champion say? Made a mistake. I fucked up. The car didn't go straight. I did something with the car that made it go straight. But this is how champions think. Now, he gets into a wreck, and this is how also winners and champions wreck. They make a mistake, and they let go of the wheel, and they hold on, and nothing's coming off. Everything's strapped down. So all y'all try to emulate what this guy does all the time, you racers out there. Here's how you wreck, and this is smart. Danica Patrick actually brought this to NASCAR racing. The IndyCar guys do it all the time. He's probably been practicing since he's going to be doing the Indy 500. And it's been relatively used a lot ever since Danica had that wreck at Daytona and took her hands off the wheel and just held them right here. You know, this is kind of the formulated way to wreck and be as safe as possible. He clutches around his chest and holds on. So hopefully, if Kyle can't teach these guys how to race, he can, because it's hard to drive as good as Kyle Larson. he can be teaching y'all how to wreck now, chin strapped down and everything fine. And I know that there's probably a reason and a rhyme as to why the helmet came off. But once again, the winner's mentality is I did it. I made a mistake. I didn't strap this down. I didn't buckle this. I didn't drive it right. I'm the reason the car went straight. Take some responsibility is so scapegoated today. It's sad. Learn from a Kyle Larson, no matter if the flow of racing announcers and everybody's coming up and saying, what happened? Oh my God, what happened? The car did it, right? The car did it. Oh my God. No, I just fucked up. I did it. That's the championship way. Now, what's funny about Kyle is he got I would say his ass got handed to him pretty easily at the Chili Bowl. Although he can jump in all these different cars and win. It didn't happen. And in the late models, as we've seen over the years, to those who pay attention to all of his late model racing, not just the headlines that post around everywhere when he wins, but when he's at every race and is actually getting beaten by the late model guys, happens a lot. He wins. It's hard to hold Kyle down. He's a bad motherfucker. But he gets his ass beat. He got handed his ass pretty well in the midget. Self-inflicted or not, he was the guy in the car moving it around the track. And then he just got his ass handed tonight pretty well in the late model. Now, he had to start a little deep and come through the field. But these I don't know, did y'all watch him and Tyler Erb? These guys ain't afraid of him over there. Now, Tyler Erb, I think he thinks he's better than he actually is. That's why they changed chassis left, right, and the other. But Tyler Erb's still a good driver, performance-wise. But he threw a slider on Erb. Erb slid him right back and then chopped his nose in her in 3. And I'm like, there's a fucking killer. That's a guy who gets it done. He ain't going to be intimidated by Kyle. And I think some people, and I've seen it in the sprint car world, they see that 57 throw a slider on him and they don't even attempt to slide him back. He's like, oh my God, they're just so happy that Kyle was even on the track and passed him. Their life accomplishment is done. They're thinking, can I somehow go to lunch with you tomorrow? That's their concern in the sprint car world. These late model guys are like, screw this guy. We got him. I'm taking him. He wants to race me. I'm racing him back just as hard. And that's how you're going to beat Kyle when you treat him like that. That's how you're going to beat him. This other mentality of just idolization and godliness is insane. And that kind of leads to what I'm saying. I know. I think what's happening here is what Kyle agreed with as well when we had these conversations in 2020 after he had his crazy, amazing year. And everyone said greatest of all time. And oh my God, he's just that much better. And it led into 21. I think it was Chili Bowl 21 or somewhere 21. We got into this conversation because I had been saying, y'all calm y'all's ass down. Yes, he won all these races. He did all this stuff. But for one, great opportunities. In the wing sprint car division, yeah, he won back in the day at Gold Cup and all that, but he didn't really do much in the 1K car. The Abreu 1K car. He didn't really do much in his own, when they had Kyle Larson racing that one car. He was winning okay, but he wasn't doing much. He got in the Silva situation, a great situation, and started doing some really badass things, and it is Kyle Larson. He's really, really good. But when you have one really good season and you get called greatest of all time and all these things, you're forgetting about the last letter of the paraphrased GOAT, the T at the end of it. Time. See, Steve Kinser had years just as badass. Maybe not numbers and all that, but let's see how many times they raced and all that too. But Steve Kinser had a year where he was winning Silver Crown and non-wing and wing, and he did all this crazy stuff. He had a year that was great. Jack Hewitt had years. Doug Wolfgang had years. Sammy Swindell's winning when he was winning and then going up and racing side by side with Bob McCready at Syracuse in a modified. And we're talking about driver diversity. They're on ABC. On major TV, Sammy Swindell's trading it up for the lead with Bob McCready. So these guys have done some stuff over a period of time. And I agree. He had one good, amazing year. But these guys did too. It just wasn't publicized and covered as much. The idolization of a Cole Trickle wasn't a big deal, so there was more of a flat plane for people to have opportunity of iconism. But at the same time, when you have a year like that, like Kinser and them did, or like Kyle and them had, you're now the rabbit. And the hard part about being the rabbit running from all the dogs is staying ahead of them. And I think and this is what I was saying, and Kyle halfway agreed with this. Yeah, I see what you're saying. When you do what you did for 1 year, and then you want to do that for 30 or 20 or even 10 or 5. Late model guys can't even do it for 5 years. Madden and Davenport, that's all we talking about 2 years ago. Now it went to Ricky Thornton and Bobby Pearson 2 years. Overton a couple years ago. Oh, everything. Now it's somebody else. You know, because it's hard to be that guy and stay ahead. It's not like these dogs, these guys in the late models and the sprint car industries saw Kyle go out there for 1 year and do these amazing things and weren't working and changing and figuring out ways to track his ass down. Ain't everybody out here just with the loser mentality? Oh, he's just so much greater than me. No, they're leaders and winners too in the sprint car and late model industry. They're saying, I'm going to find me a way to whoop his ass. And that's what they did with Kinser. That's what they did with Swindell. That's what they did with Bloomquist and Billy Moyer. But the job of that guy of real goatness of all time, over time, the job of that guy that they're all saying I'm coming to get is for that guy to keep on getting better. Because if he don't get better, he's going to get ate up eventually. Steve Kinser stayed ahead of them all for periods of time. Sammy Swindell, period of time. Scott Bloomquist, period of time. Billy Moyer, period of time. That is what makes you the greatest of all time when you're able to do it for periods of time. And that's why I think 1 year and everybody says GOAT. It's just shockism. It's just TikTok mentality for 3 seconds and it matters. Do it in a long form scenario. That's what greatness is supposed to be about. Not one page or chapter, but a whole damn book. Obviously, he's got other things to go do and all this and that and the other. But all I'm simply trying to tell you is, when you see these late model guys doing to him what you're seeing now, and when everybody just thought all of a sudden Larson was going to pop into the chili bowl, even I was under halfway of the spell, at least I'm giving respect to the other guys who are on the roster, and I believe I said that it was going to be a tough race Thursday. There was a lot of guys on there. When you see him pop into the chili bowl and just run, you know, and flip and all that, it's not necessarily that something's wrong with the car, or, oh my God, what's going on here? Oh, well, something must have broke. Sometimes it's the dogs have caught up, and he ain't done a good enough job of staying ahead. Now, y'all probably then would say, oh, well, it must be the car. Oh, that's Larsonitis, the worst disease ever known to mankind. By you Larsonites, y'all are infected. We need to find a cure for y'all. I'm hoping that it's the Chaz with this truth, honesty, and reality. But y'all are stuck in the hypnotism magic potion of the screen world. When I'm over here in the real world, it's like Barbie Land. You know, on this big-ass flight, I couldn't sleep for shit on the international flight. But I actually watched the movie Barbie. And y'all may hear, oh, my God. And I was explaining when I told the Australian guys, oh, my God, how could you watch that? And in reality, it was actually a really good conceptual movie because it was talking about this Barbie land. That's where it starts out. And in the Barbie land, it's a matriarchy. Now, somebody may not know what a matriarchy is, but a matriarchy is basically America, but the woman. You know, they call it a patriarchy. Well, America's kind of progressed a little bit. Australia is definitely a little smarter, but it was basically the other way around, where the guys weren't really needed in Barbie land. The women had all the houses and the nice materialistic possessions, and they ran the country and everything. And then, unlike over here, where it's mainly men and blah, 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 and runs everything. And then they get over to Barbie land, and all the women hate Barbie because she's the reason they feel that women hate themselves. And then Ken, the doll, finds out the patriarchy and takes patriarchy because he's like, wow, I've never been respected in my life. Wow, men can be cool. I didn't know that men could do cool stuff. And he's all like shocked. And he brings it back to Barbie Land, and it all switches it up. Anyways, at the end of the movie, they kind of said neither one is right. So it was kind of like a good conceptual understanding of life and what it should be like. It was like, matriarchy is wrong, patriarchy is wrong. There needs to be some common sense in the middle. Like I say all the time, left-wing politics, right-wing politics. These are all extremists, kind of, not all of them, but they're too extreme. It's playing sides. You're splitting the sides so you can control the masses. It's divide and conquer tactics. The real common sense is in the middle of this whole situation. The mental aspect, the middle aspect. I know I mispronounced middle, but mental. Mental is the actual issue here. It's about having common sense within your mental society that is usually spurred by logic and reason and emotion, not by what a screen tells you what to like and what's so much better or what a GOAT is. And I think that kind of happens a lot here. So I know some people message me, why do you think Larson ain't doing that great? Why? What happened? I don't think that Larson is doing that bad. I think he's doing Kyle Larson things. But 2020 Kyle Larson will not beat the regular dirt racer in 2024 or 25 or 26 because these teams and drivers were the dogs and that was the rabbit. And that rabbit is eventually going to get eat up if he doesn't continue greatness. And then if you do that continued greatness over a period of time, that's how you become a GOAT. So, once again, I know Larsonites are freaking out right now. They're like, oh my God, how could he say that? Oh, we all know that something broke on the car. I mean, Clinton Boyle said it on the broadcast. He said it. It had to be something that broke. Had to. I know some people are mentally deranged over this. It's a psyop. It's a real psyop that people believe here. But in reality, he just made mistakes. Other guys are better now. Other teams are better now. Other crew chiefs that are not named Paul Silva have developed and became better. Other crew chiefs who are not Kevin Rumley, although Kevin Rumley probably the smartest mind in late model history. Other minds are learning from the teacher, and now the student has developed over the last few years. Kyle Larson teaching them on the track. They have learned, and now the students are coming, buddy. This was the teacher of talent of winning. The badass teacher, the Kinsers, the Swindells, they do that shit for 20, 30 years. The Bloomquist, the Moyers, they do it for 20, 30 years. Then they get labeled a GOAT. But not in the reactionary-based world that we are in today, TikToks. Happens now, oh my God, best ever, best ever. It's a new subject every week. It's a new subject for y'all. One week it's the Titanic little submarine that's missing. Next week it's some rich man north of Richmond song. Next week it'll be this. Next week it'll be that. The illusion is real, and they play it like a fiddle. It's very funny. The devil went down to Georgia. So, anyways, that's what I think of the whole scenario. Unfortunate for Kyle, but he is human. I don't know how many Rockies have to come up here and hit the Russian in the mouth and see him bleed just a little bit to learn that everyone is human and they make mistakes. And it's a little harder to be a GOAT than your TikTok mind is telling you. Just saying. And if you're like, oh, well, he did that for a full year and then he still continued greatness because he is still great. He is still great. He is still one of the best. He could go out there and win tomorrow. He's still great. But other guys are too. It's back to this. It's almost a tire situation. It's almost like that. Give the guys who are beating your ass some respect. Respect somebody else besides an mental manipulated figuratism person that just basically is trading the same spots that we've been seeing for 30 years. Let's see some reality of the greatness. Even in NASCAR, he didn't win the championship, did he? I mean, I'm not degrading it. I'm just saying there's other guys that are good. And it ain't the car didn't always break when he hits the wall and flips, or something ain't wrong on the car when he gets his ass handed to him by late model guys. The dogs have caught up. Is he going to continually getting eaten up into the year? Or is every time something goes wrong or he doesn't win a race, oh, he's just busy in NASCAR. He can't focus on this. That's why he's losing. Oh, something had to happen. He had to eat, he had to eat something bad last night. He must be sick or something. That's why he's not there. I mean, come on. It ain't the GoPro. It ain't the color green. Come on. Anyways. We do have to get out of here. We actually have to haul ass if we're going to get to the track. It's about an hour away, and it is 5:20 right now. Not 4:20, like some of y'all want to talk about. Although the beer in Australia, that's something I wanted to talk about I didn't get to. Before we get out of here, I ain't had a beer. I mean, it was possibly the best beer in the world. I mean, that Carlton Dry that I had was damn good. I don't want to get to Perth. I got to drink some kind of emu beer or something. I had a Carlton that was really badass, but my favorite one was the 4X Summer Dry or Bright Draft or something like that. And in a bottle, these things were just amazing. I've heard the Australians come to Knoxville and come to Ohio and be like, oh my God, y'all's American beer just sucks, mate. You know, I hear that all the time. And I thought they were just being homers, you know, just like our stuff's better than y'all's. Even though they cheer for other drivers to get into the AMA more than their locals. That's how Sheldon got in the race last night. I know that's true as well. But, you know, I thought they were just playing homers. You know, our beer's just better because y'all are Americans. Fuck y'all. Y'all's beer sucks compared to us. Ha ha ha. But in reality, guys, when I took the first sip and it was that Carlton Dry, I really don't know how to describe it. I really don't know how to describe the Australian beer. It is just really, really damn good. It's like unbelievable. All the different, only one I didn't really like that much, still better than American beer probably, was the Crown. There was one called Crown I tried, and I didn't really attest to that one too much. But everything else was just unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. We will go to the chat real quick just to check in just for a second. We're not going to be here too much longer. We got to get to the track, guys. We got to get to the track. I'm probably going to be a little bit late as we sit right now. I'm sure the Larsonites are losing their mind. Too much talking up of one driver. There are many more. Oh, wow. Somebody's coming with some common sense. There are many more quality drivers that need the attention. Everybody knows Larson is good. Time to talk up the unknown drivers that don't have the backing or the name. That guy has to be from Australia. There's no way. There's no way that's an American, because that came with too much logic and sense. That type of statement is this. This makes sense, don't it? To have your bills a little different color and all this so you don't get them mixed up in different sizes and women and men and indigenous people and everything on here. That makes sense, don't it? This is them. This is the Americans. Don't matter if it's a 5 or a 50. They're all the same. I'm telling you, that's what I've been doing since 2016. And by the way, this whole Larson and Chaz drama started in 2017 when I reached over 8 million people in less than a month and a half of starting my Facebook page. One of my videos eclipsed almost 500,000, and it was talking about how dirt racers are just as good as NASCAR drivers, and they're a little overrated because they're on TV. And he came in there talking shit to me. I ain't mentioned Kyle Larson once in my videos. He came after me, buddy. He came after me. So he drew first blood, not me. I was just trying to get something to eat. And I was eating well. He came in there and ruined my dinner. And I'm just coming out. I'm not even hating on it. Still calling him the greatest, still all this stuff. But at the same time, we really want the issue to be pointed out in American dirt racing. It's co-trickle syndrome. That's the problem. Late models don't have that issue, and that's why you got 10 or 15 guys that can whoop his ass on a consistent basis, because they've been trying to be full-time dirt late model drivers. That's where all the money, that's where all the financing has went. It ain't been going into little kids trying to go to NASCAR so that they can say they know a NASCAR driver later in their life. No, the big money, corporations and teams, and any money that comes to late model racing is going out to win World 100s and big-time late model championships and events. Our money don't do that. Our money in financial situation, there's a few guys who put money into full-time sprint car racing, but most of the time, all the money's thrown at these little kiddies who are 10 to 14 years old who might make it to cup racing one day. Let's give them all the money so we can say we know someone when they get famous, when fame is fake. NASCAR numbers on social media are destroyed by most of the dirt racers. But you don't care. You don't care about that respect and equality. But we're supposed to be America, but we have no merit in the sport. And it starts with the fan bases and the money. Regardless, Australia doesn't have co-trickle. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The Callum Williamson interview that we had pointed that out with extreme scenarios and truth. Chad Burt says, got out just in time, Chaz. Iowa counties are starting to pull their snowplows off the road for Friday night due to worsening weather conditions, winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour, 45 below zero at times. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow. Spike Fast Racing with some smart comments here. The unknown drivers who can't buckle their belts or helmet. Wow. Here he comes. The only time the unknowns get talked about is when they go tossing out of the car and then blame everyone else. And that's when I got onto this track of doing and saying what I've all said all these years, is because I was managing racetracks when Kevin Ward Jr. got killed. And it mattered to me because I noticed at that point, no matter how much I tried to get that mainstream media out to the track prior to that, that the only motherfucking way that this world and news and everyone's going to hear about these drivers is when they have something bad like that happen. That's the disgusting reality. The biggest names we got in America right now are unknown to society unless they go off in there and Brian Clausen the shit. That's when they're on ESPN. That's when they're spread to the world as driving these horrible, dangerous race cars. And that's the problem. And that's a problem because of the idolization and respect of the sport. We're too worried about promoting and pushing up the plateau one cold trickle every so often. Whether that's Gordon, whether that's Stewart, whether that's Casey Kane, whether that's Ricky Stenhouse, whether that is now Kyle Larson and Bell. It's been going on for a long time. And the disrespect is just too long. Don't be flashing around the green one. They are hard to find. This one? Oh, the green one. At least, I guess this is why I hear the term greenbacks. I think, right? Greenbacks? I guess the 100 is very valuable, although y'all's money ain't that much. Everything costs $100. Hell, I tried to get a burrito the other day and a Diet Pepsi, and it was like $59. I was like, what the hell? It's insane. The greens go. I think the reason that people are saying that Larson is the GOAT is because he can climb in a sprint car like Jack Hewitt, late model like Jack Hewitt, midget like Jack Hewitt, and hasn't been in one for months and kick ass. I think a lot of great race car drivers can do that. They just don't get the opportunities. Before Kyle Larson said the N-word and got to go drive all these different dirt cars, there was a relatively good debate who's better between Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson, especially considering that Christopher Bell had beat Kyle Larson multiple times at the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals and made him cry in his car after he passed him on the last lap. Now, the difference between Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell after that is that Kyle Larson got more opportunities than Christopher Bell did to race dirt cars and to race different dirt vehicles. And now you logistically can sit here and say, there's no way to compare Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. Look at all the different cars and things and stuff that Kyle has done since then. But that's because he got more opportunities. It's an opportunity-based sport. And that's why I don't put one driver over another. I'm not going to say and you can't even compare Kyle to anyone. Who else is even getting to do and drive all these different cars with the best crew chiefs and teams of the world? Who? There's no one else. So it's not like a stat line where let's see who threw the ball best from the 40-yard line. Let's see who could line up and shoot better three-point shots. Here's a basketball, stand on that line, shoot 10 of them. Let's see how many you can make. And now you get a bunch of people up there to shoot the ball, and whoever makes the most is the better one. But with this thing, it's more like, all right, Kyle, go shoot at the three-point line and see how many you can make. All right, Kyle, you made 6 of 10. Okay. You're the greatest of all time. And somebody's like, well, I want to try. No, you can't do it. No, you can't go and do what he gets to do. Y'all just suck. You don't even get to attempt to try it. And you're called subpar. There's no one else even getting to. And some people say, oh, he's that good. That's why. Oh, yeah. Where's Ricky Thornton Jr.'s cup ride and IndyCar ride? Where's Logan Seavey's World Outlaw Sprint Car operator? Where's all these? There's guys out there who are just doing the same thing as Kyle. Spencer Baston and Tanner Thorson did just as much in midgets as Kyle did. They just didn't get called up like Christopher and Larson did. And Christopher Bell only got called up because Larson turned his back on Toyota and went to Chevy because Ganassi was the only person that was willing to give him a ride for free in NASCAR. And so a Toyota ride developed for Christopher Bell. And that's why I call the NASCAR thing a big hoodwink. The whole Keith Coons deal for $300,000 a year is to siphon out the money of the sport so that they can make money off of hopes and dreams. It's the music movie industry, and these are agencies that are taking advantage of this fallacy of we can make your little boy and girl a superstar, movie star, music. Just give us some money. We'll promote them. We'll make them go up the ladder. Here's the system. Here's how I do it. Yeah, there's a guy right there. We marketed him. We was his agency guy. We made it happen for him too. We can make it happen for y'all. Yeah. Here's your nutrition plan, and this is an extra charge. Anyway, Chaz, you head to the track, bud, or you're going to miss the race. All right. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We do have a lot of footage that we're going to make a really good video of the whole trip here, Avalon, and then whatever we can get at Simpson because we are going to be relatively late. May just be on the fan side. We will see. We are rested up. We only had 1 hour of sleep on the trip. Went to sleep last night like 1, 2 o'clock and woke up today about 1, 2 o'clock because I was dead tired. We got a little bit more energy today, especially after this Australian coffee. Pretty damn good too. And banana bread. Anyways, Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. We'll try to do more of these lives. We are going to have a bit of a station here, but once the whole Speed Week comes, not sure how it's going to work out. Yeah, vlogging it is what they call, but I make films. I don't really make vlogs. Those are kind of cheap and low quality. I did take some footage for a potential music video that I'm working on as well. Got to get a song together though, but I always am thinking, always, every day of the week. Anyways, links in the description to join the support. We do have some names up here that we need to add. We just threw this live together, just banged everything out. They got these stupid plugs in the wall that don't take regular plugs, apparently because the plugs we have in our wall are from China. Yeah, it's interesting who you can see owning the country once you get out of it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Links in the description to join the support. We will hopefully have that video out, I would say, Monday or Tuesday Australian time, which would be Sunday or Monday y'all's time. And then obviously Chili Bowl, going to be going all day tomorrow. And that's going to be very interesting to see. We'll probably come on here after that has ended. I do not think that I'm going to be able to make premiere for the Sunday 360 race, which is tomorrow on our time, Saturday night for y'all. But definitely we'll be there for the Classic. And then also looking at potentially more than likely 100% sure we're going to be at the title race. But we do have some interesting news to announce at the Classic. We'll be looking forward to that as well. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get to the track. Thanks for tuning in. Like the video. Share the video if you can't support monetarily. That's just as important. If you watch and you don't subscribe, please subscribe. Let's get to at least that 10,000 mark. We only need about 100 more subscribers to get there. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, click it, and you'll also get notifications when we post videos. Most of the time, it's kind of finicky. But anyways, thanks for tuning in as always, and we will catch you next time from Down Under. See you later, ladies and gentlemen.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show.